They call him the people's leader, but behind the calm smile and socialist speeches lies a life of unimaginable luxury. Is Zohran Mamdani a man of the ordinary people, or the quiet face of untouchable privilege? Today, we dive into the trillionaire life of Zohran Mamdani. Early life and education. For starters, Zohran Mamdani had everything money could buy, yet he never stopped wondering why others had nothing. Yes, you heard me right. Zohran Kwame Mamdani was born on October 18, 1991, in Kampala, Uganda, a city where his family name already carried weight. His father, Mahmoud Mamdani, wasn't just another scholar, he was one of Africa's leading scholars. His mother, Mira Nair, was an award-winning filmmaker whose movies starred legends like Denzel Washington and painted India and Africa on the world's biggest screens. Together they built a home where books, cameras, and ideas were Zohran's play tools. Despite the privileges, Zohran's parents wanted him to grow up with purpose, so they gave him direction. Even if you know nothing about Africa, you should know that his middle name, Kwame, honors Ghana's revolutionary leader Kwame Nkrumah, a symbol of freedom and equality. Zohran grew up hearing his parents discuss politics, race, and inequality, even before he could learn multiplication. And the funny thing? He listened. His father's academic career led to frequent relocations during Zohran's childhood. It's no wonder his education was a blend of African and New York-based experiences. At the age of 5, in 1996, his family moved to Cape Town. Right after apartheid, racial discrimination in South Africa ended. He attended St. George's Grammar School in Mowbray, where he learnt about freedom and inequality. By 1999, they had moved again, this time to New York City, settling in Morningside Heights, where he attended Bank Street School for Children and finished in 2006. And he didn't stop there. By 2010, he had completed Bronx High School of Science in Kingsbridge Heights. Zohran co-founded the school's cricket team and also ran unsuccessfully for student body vice president, giving early signs of leadership. He then attended Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, graduating in 2014 with a Bachelor of Arts in Africana Studies. He co-founded the chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP, and was involved in campus politics, learning leadership from the ground up. You see, education didn't just teach Zohran, it shaped his rebellion. And long before the world knew his name, the seed of justice had already taken root. Career.
New York! Tonight you have delivered a mandate for change. A mandate for a new kind of politics. A mandate for a city we can afford.
When Zohran Mamdani won the 2025 New York City mayoral election, the world paused. Think about it. The youngest mayor since 1892, the first Muslim, the first Indian American. The son of immigrants is now standing at the top of America's biggest city. How does someone pull that off? It wasn't luck. I've watched his journey. It's a story of vision and a kind of compassion you can't fake. He didn't just pop up and become mayor. Before the victory, Mamdani worked as a foreclosure prevention housing counselor in Queens, helping low-income immigrants retain their homes. That was his first real job. Not glamorous, but meaningful. And that's what shaped his politics. But even before then, his journey was already unfolding in unexpected ways. In 2015, Zohran's political career started when he volunteered for Ali Najmi's city council campaign, a moment that showed him how ordinary people could challenge systems much bigger than themselves. A year later, in 2016, his creative fire took the stage. He composed the soundtrack for his mother's film Queen of Katwe, earning a nomination for a Guild of Music Supervisors Award, a rare achievement that proved he wasn't just thinking politics, he was living purpose through art. By 2017, he joined the New York City Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, aligning himself with a movement built on justice, equality, and collective power. And then came 2019, when he let another side of himself speak through rap. Under the name Mr. Cardamom, he released songs like Nani, featuring his own grandmother. Interestingly, every lyric carried the same message his politics would later preach: pride, culture, and resistance. It was all connected. The art, the activism, the purpose. When I first heard about him running for the New York State Assembly, challenging Aravella Simotas, a longtime sitting member, I honestly laughed. But then he won. People said he had no experience, no big donors, and no chance. And here is the shocking part. People said the same thing in 2025, when he began his mayoral race against political giants like Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa with just 1% support. But you already know, he won. It is fascinating that while some people wait their whole life for a purpose, Mamdani walked straight into his. But believe me, he couldn't have done any of it without his family. And that's where the real story is. Supportive wife.
And I must thank my incredible wife.
Behind every public victory, there's always a quiet story of love, loyalty, and faith. And in Zohran Mamdani's life, that story begins with his wife, Rama Douaji, the woman who turned his journey into something deeper than politics. Here is the thing. While Zohran Mamdani was out there giving speeches, winning debates, and shaking hands, Rama was behind the curtain, building his image and making it fit for the public eye. And no, she wasn't giving speeches or smiling for the cameras. She didn't even post about it, except for one post she made after the victory, saying, "Couldn't possibly be prouder." However, she was sketching, planning, and designing his campaign materials. Who did you think crafted the bold yellow, orange, and blue aesthetics that became a symbol of Zohran's grassroots movement? Now you know. I've walked around the city, and if you have spent any time walking around yourself, you will agree that her use of colors and eye-friendly designs brought the city to life. Imagine that you are just staring at a campaign poster, yet you have this viral feeling that you are part of something bigger. That's what Rama did with the designs. How did she do that? Rama is a 28-year-old illustrator whose art often centers on socio-political issues, with her pieces featuring in international outlets like the BBC. Rama Douaji grew up in a privileged environment in Dubai. Her parents are initially from Syria, but she was born in Texas and attended Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia in 2019, before studying in Qatar, where she taught workshops. She returned to Dubai during the COVID-19 pandemic and moved to New York City in 2021 to pursue her art career. This background of travels gave her the perfect exposure for art and activism. You are probably wondering how the couple met. Well, here is what most people don't know. Their love story didn't start in a political office or an art gallery, far from that.
I met my wife on Hinge, so there is still hope in those dating apps.
That's right. The city's next mayor met his wife on a dating app. She had just moved to New York in 2021, looking for inspiration as an artist, while Zohran was already making noise as a state assemblyman. After dating for a while, the couple got married in early 2025. As expected, it was a private luxury wedding in Dubai. But the shocking part? It was a civil wedding. Believe me, if I didn't know, I would have bet it was a religious ceremony. Although people criticize them for keeping their marriage a secret, their union is very romantic, cute, and supportive. The truth is, every movement needs a face, but every face needs a force behind it. For Zohran Mamdani, that force is his wife. Turns out, marriage isn't the only thing Mamdani kept a secret, and you are just about to find out. Luxury lifestyle. Wealth has a smell. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It moves quietly, like Zohran Mamdani himself. You can try to hide it, but trust me, wealth has a way of revealing itself. Now, Zohran's personal net worth is estimated to be around $300,000. I bet you'd think that's modest, but the real story isn't in the number, it's in the network, and you are just about to find out. For starters, Zohran is not the type to flash gold watches or throw parties on yachts. His kind of luxury is silent, the kind that shows itself in smell, fabric, and confidence. Did you hear the whispers during his campaign? That he had hired a celebrity stylist, the kind who typically dresses pop stars and CEO, charging up to $10,000 per session. Critics called it hypocrisy. I call it strategy. Because in New York, appearance is half the argument. I have toured many wardrobes, but never have I seen one that tells stories like Zohran's. I'm talking about silver rings that symbolize his faith and identity. The handcrafted suits blend African texture with Indian precision. And when his wife Rama walked beside him on election night, wrapped in a designer outfit that lit up social media, it wasn't just fashion, it was a statement. Unless you are blind, you should be able to see that the couple is dressing for history. But clothes are only part of the narrative. Let's talk real estate, because that's where quiet wealth hides. While most politicians hustle for condos, Zohran's family estate in Uganda is the kind of property that locals talk about in low tones. A massive compound near the Nile River, complete with armed security, and an Airbnb listing that rents for up to $1,000 a night. And yes, he owns land there too, near the Nile, which is estimated to be worth around $300,000. Now, add that to his $300,000 net worth, and you begin to understand something deeper. Zohran may live simply, but his roots sit in luxury soil. Even his travels speak of luxury. When he flew to Uganda in July 2025 for a family retreat, or to Puerto Rico immediately after winning the election, staying 6 nights at the Caribe Hilton at $700 a night, critics called him out. But I've learned one truth about people who live close to power. Rest is not a crime, it's a necessity. And guess what? Behind all that wealth is a family legacy that screams luxury. The last time I checked, his parents' combined net worth was about $20 million. But here's the thing, Zohran doesn't flaunt that wealth, he follows it. So yes, Zohran preaches equality. He talks about taxing the rich. But let's not pretend he doesn't understand wealth. He was born inside its walls. The truth is, you can try to hide money, but grace, taste, and access always leave footprints. What do you think? Is Zohran Mamdani truly the people's mayor, or just another power player dressed in purpose? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.